Hey everyone, Autumn Leaf here. And after a long period of time, I've decided to make a baby. This is the cute face that we are doing. Let's see if I can turn this around so I can see what you see. This is a true-born baby. The bag that I had it in had that written on it. It doesn't have a card with it, but I'm sure that's what it is. And I had the body in there that goes with it. It appears to be preemie newborn size. But I haven't did a video of me actually making a baby from start to finish, so I'm going to try doing that after work. As I get everything in the house completed, I will work on it. It's a fairly white baby. Just talking about the mold. You kind of look at, this is kind of where you want it to be when you're starting. So if you get one that's a little more orangey color, you would just do a couple blue washes and you should get to this spot. This baby doesn't need a wash. I think it's going to be pretty cute. Alright, so I have my clean surface. It's pretty important. You want to keep things clean. I'm actually going to get a white towel. And that's for the drying process. You don't have to have white, but vinyl will pick up color. So if you get a towel that started out red or blue or black, you run the risk of it bleeding over. Now this towel obviously has been used multiple times and has some stains on it, but those stains are not going to transfer. I do wash them in bleach, and every doll kit gets a new towel laid down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on one layer of a base. I think we're going to keep this baby pretty pale because I want to do some really good mottling since it looks like a brand new baby. Most of my bottles, the number or the labels have faded. If it's important to you to know what you have, you can always maybe write on the top with something to make it more permanent. I couldn't tell you which color this is. It's so faded off of there that I can't read it. All of them are pretty much. That's a 6. That's a 4. I couldn't tell you. But you can make your base any color you want. You know, it's your baby, what you want to do with it. So I'm going to use quite a bit of it. I'm going to actually use the center. Put down my layer of thinner. And we're going to pull some color out of here. I don't make very many ethnic babies. I have made a few mixed and ethnic. It is a different process to it. So if that's something that you want, you're going to want to watch a different video. And that's because where a lighter skin baby, you're going to go into the creases, you know, darker, and the shading's going to be darker. Where on an ethnic baby, it's actually going to be lighter. You know, the hands are going to be lighter, feet it's going to be lighter. Your elbows and stuff. It's just one of them things. And honestly, I don't feel that I've gotten very good at it. Granted, I haven't did very many of them. You know, practice makes perfect. Some people are just really good at it. So I'm mixing this in really well. You want to make sure you keep your washes very light. The number one thing I see as a mistake is people rush. You cannot rush this process. I want you to expect to put on 100 layers. You're not going to put on 100 layers. But I want you to think of it that way, because if not, you're going in too dark, too fast, not enough layers. It looks blotchy, and it looks, I mean, I've seen so many people on Facebook and they will ask for suggestions on what to do, and I'm like, you're going to have to strip it and start over again, because you've got way too much red on there. You know, you've got to start light. You've got to, you know, build your layers up. You may have to do 3 layers of the same color to get where you want to be. But if you try to get that one layer one time, you know, that color, it's not going to look right. You know, one thing that makes veins look real is by putting them on early and then layering up, because it puts it under that layer, which makes it look like it's under that skin. You know, if you put all your colors on and then you put veins on, it's going to sit on top of, and that's why it doesn't look natural. So, like I said, I'm going to do a start to finish. I haven't did one in a while, and I had a lot of comments that people wanted to see more of that. So this is going to come across as a tutorial. I'm going to share some tips that I've learned, things that I do. What I do may work different for somebody else. Somebody else might say, well, that's not how I do it. Well, that's fine. This is just how I do it. And I want you to see what happens the way that I do it. A good doll can be, I want to say it can be expensive. So what I'm going to do while I'm talking, because I feel like I have to talk. I don't know. You can tell me if you want a video of just watching me work and not saying anything, because I can certainly do that. I've got a couple sponges. These are actually cheap sponges. I don't like them, but they will work as far as patting out some excess. But they're not very good for modeling. They're just too soft. You want the ones that are thicker, like this. I don't know if you can see how dense it is versus this one. See how spongy this one is? I got hair in the way. You can see the holes in it versus that. You don't really want these. But yeah, I can make a video and not talk. I just feel like I need to talk, or I don't know. You're gonna have to let me know. So this is gonna be a heavy wash, which just means it's okay if it drips, because we're gonna pat it. You can use a fan brush if you like, and a fan brush looks like that. I'm just using this one. This is just to get everything started. You definitely want to pat, or you're going to get creases. because there's too much on here. This is just going to sop up some excess so it doesn't pool in the little creases. You don't want your baby to look dirty. And I think it kind of helps, like padding, to just kind of work that color into the vinyl, so it's not just sitting on top of it. You want to really watch in here. I see a lot of pooling in the toe area. This baby has a lot of creases on his foot. So, just to show you the difference, which I know the lighting's not great in here. My light source is up here. I guess I could try to turn this light on. I honestly don't know if it's going to help matters. Maybe a little bit. So, we took the collar that, I'm sorry, I don't know what the number of it is. And this is just a comparison. Obviously, this one's more shiny because it's wet. But this is the original. And as you can see, there really isn't much difference, is there? It's still pretty light. But I'm telling you, that collar is on there. And we're going to build up on it. So I'm just going to set that to the side and let it air dry while we go to the next one. Same thing. We're just going to brush this first layer on. This is just a good base start. Usually I will do 1 or 2 bases depending on how the vinyl's soaking it up. You know, if I start it with a darker color, like that orangey color, I might have to do a couple washes to get it up to where I want it to be. And then the next thing I do very early on is the veins. So as soon as we get this where we want it, that's what's going to come next. And we're just patting it. This baby is probably going to take me, oh goodness, a couple weeks. My job starts at 4:45 in the morning, so I'm up around 3:30 in the morning. Weekends is a half hour later, and I'm usually off around lunchtime. Then that means, you know, coming home, fixing lunches, supper, cleaning, trying to rest a little bit, and then as I get time, I'm going to work on this baby. I have, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 kits. Some of them I probably need to buy bodies for. Maybe rings or plugs. But I have the kits, and here it is, August. And I'm like, you know what? People are going to have Christmas babies. I need to start working on them. And that seems to be the #1 time people want to get these, because they want to make them Christmas presents, because they do tend to be a little more expensive. But what I was saying with, you know, what do you consider expensive? You know, if someone's selling these for $150, $200, you have to look at how much money actually went into the kit. So many times people ask me, you know, oh, can you make this baby for me? You know, for example, Harper. Sure, I can make that baby. You know, but I can't make it for the price you're wanting it for. And I will actually get on, say, Bountiful Baby, and I'll put everything in the cart that I need. The kit, the body, the plugs, the rings, hair, eyes if necessary, if it's an open-eyed baby, the poly stuffing, the beads, magnets if you want a pacifier, you know, zip ties, all of this stuff. And I'll send it to them. This is how much it cost me just to buy material with shipping. Now, it's going to be probably over $150. And then you want me to create it, which is going to take me weeks and hours of work. And if you want me to root it, it's going to take even longer. And all of a sudden, it's like, no, you know, they can't afford that. Well, I can't afford to give it away either. And I think that's where so many people get aggravated. Granted, I have seen some people make a doll and the quality's not good. And I'm like, well, it's not really worth that. I suggest, if you want to make babies, practice on cheap kits. Sometimes you can get them off Facebook really cheap, you know, like $20. And, you know, get what you need. Take your time. You know, take pride in your work and learn as you go. Read, watch videos. You know, there's a lot of Facebook groups that have tutorials, and, you know, you can sell it really cheap because, you know, your practice babies aren't going to be that great, or, you know, donate them to a nursing home or something. You won't have a lot of money invested, but you will gain experience. This baby is so cute. I cannot wait to see the end result. Alright, so I'm going to actually let that sit for a minute. What time is it? 6:44. And I'm going to let it air dry. I'm going to do the veins, and then I think I'm going to cure it, and we're going to stop for today. So I'm going to use this vein blue. I believe that's what it is called. You only need a tiny amount. A lot of times I will just dip my brush in the thinning thing and then pick up a little bit of the blue and use it. But I will make a little bit, which I think I done put too much in there. You only need the tiniest amount, and you need the tiniest brush you can get your hands on. This is probably your most coveted brush, is when you find the perfect brush for veins, because it has to have a nice point on it that's not going to flatten out. And as soon as I find mine, I will show it to you. Oh, where did it go? Be prepared to have way too many brushes. Here's one. Look at that. Can you see it? No. I don't know if this light above is helpful or not helpful. I don't know if this helps anyone. This is an 18/0 Princeton Select Short Liner is what it's called. I have another one. Sometimes you have to get a brush and cut it, or like shave it down to the way you want it. I have another one, and I can't believe I cannot find it. I have all kinds of brushes from everywhere. Sometimes you think they're gonna be really good, like you see them in the store and this is what they look like. This is a good example. You see it in the store and it looks like this. And you think, oh, look at that point. It looks great. That's exactly what I need. But the moment you actually start using it, see how it flares out? Look at that. That's actually what it looks like.